The Phoenix Suns bounce back tonight after their loss against the 76ers, and they take down the Minnesota Timberwolves for the second time this year. They beat them 129 to 117. Let's talk about it. Before we jump in, be sure to like and subscribe for more Phoenix Suns content. Like I said, the Suns win again, and they jump up to 8-3, and they avoid the losing streak. It was a pretty bad game the other night against the 76ers, so to come out here, get this win, and it was a pretty decisive win. I mean, there was never a point where I was worried, where I felt like the Timberwolves were going to come back. I know the Timberwolves had that little run at the end, but I mean, the game was already up at that point. But we got to talk about a couple of things. We have to talk about Mikal Bridges stepping up once again and campaign, man. He stepped in as a starter, his first start of the season, and he did such a great job. I mean, more than I thought. I mean, we definitely need both of those players playing at a high level if we're going to get through this little dry patch right here without Cameron Johnson. And Chris Paul sat out tonight. I think it was just precaution. I think we could expect him to be back against the Orlando Magic here in a few nights. So I don't think it was a really big deal, but it's really good to get this group out there, get their confidence going, get some shots going, and it really paid off. And so, like I said, Mikal Bridges, man, this was his game. He showed out. And I kind of mentioned this in my last video. I mentioned two players that really needed to step up, and it was Mikal Bridges and it was DeAndre Ayton. Now, Mikal Bridges has had a really good game earlier this year, but the thing with him is we got to see it consistently, because you see the results of what he does on nights like this. He becomes that second option rather than Devin Booker being the primary scorer. If Mikal Bridges can go out there and get his buckets and lead this offense the way he was looking tonight, this team looks a lot different, and it looks more lethal. That way we're not depending on Chris Paul closing out games. We're not depending on Devin Booker trying to put up 30 plus, 35 plus. We need this kind of Mikal Bridges consistently, and that's why I was a little bit frustrated the other night against the 76ers, is both of those players didn't show up. But Mikal Bridges answered the call tonight. He put up a really big game. Let's jump into the stats here. Mikal Bridges, 42 minutes, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 31 points. This is his first 30-point game. The game that he went off earlier, I think he scored 25 points. And you got Devin Booker with 32 points. I would have really loved for Mikal Bridges to be the guy to lead the points tonight, but Devin Booker had himself a great game too. This is why it's so important to have other players like Mikal or DeAndre or Cameron Johnson step in and just get the load off of Devin Booker for maybe the second or the third quarter. Because then you can have Devin Booker step in and do what maybe Chris Paul is known to do for the Suns in the past few seasons, is that he can come in and close out the game, make the big time shots, distance the lead away from the other team, and close the game out. Devin Booker did exactly that, had 32 points, and he made some really tough shots tonight. Devin Booker ended with 4 rebounds, 10 assists. I mean, this is how crazy good Devin Booker's at basketball. We know he can put up 30 points, but when you're missing a guy like Chris Paul, he can come in and give you those 10 assists. So Devin Booker with the double-double tonight, just another great game from him. Landry Shamet looked really good coming with the second unit, had 16 points coming off the bench. There's a little bit of something right there. When that second unit comes on, and because Cameron Payne is a starter because Chris Paul is out, but now with the second unit, with the bench, you have Landry Shamet running the offense with the bench. There's something special about that because it really worked tonight. I don't know if it's just the Minnesota Timberwolves, but something about that really, really worked, and I think Monty and the coaching staff found something right there. They found a diamond in the rough. But let's talk about something here. Well, Cameron Payne. Let's talk about Cameron Payne before I move on and talk about someone else. Cameron Payne, 23 points. These boys came out, showed out. I'm talking about Mikal Bridges. I'm talking about Cameron Payne. They played incredible. Now, we need this consistently. On every night, we need them to look this lethal. I'm not saying everyone drops 20 points, but we need to be able to go to them if need be. But the Suns played really well tonight. Statistically, The guys shot off the boards. They played. This could be the best game that they played, but then that fourth quarter happened, and the Timberwolves kind of came back there with a little bit of a run. But I'm not really going to dive into team stats tonight, but those are your individual player stats for the night. But let's talk about one guy. Let's talk about DeAndre Ayton. I'm a big DeAndre Ayton fan. If you've seen some of my videos, I vouch for him coming back to this team, and he should re-sign with this team. We need him to step up. The only game that I could remotely think that he really stepped up and was really the guy was probably when we lost for the first time this year against the Portland Trail Blazers. He had a really good game. Defensively, he showed up in big moments. Obviously, he missed one of the 2 free throws at the end of the game. But I said, long season ahead, so he'll get it fixed. But if we're this far into his career, and if he is putting up 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 9 points with 33 minutes, I mean, JaVale McGee could give us that. Biyombo has given us that. Jock Landale can give us that. It's early on in the season. But we've seen Cameron Johnson before the injury. We've seen him step up. He put up that 29 points in that win. We see Mikal Bridges now have done it twice. We've been critical of Mikal Bridges before, how we needed him more consistently, and he's done that. He's put up 2 great performances already this year that has marked 2 wins. Devin Booker obviously consistently doing what he's doing. Chris Paul's a little bit of an exception because he's more of a facilitator at the beginning of this year. DeAndre Ayton, we need you to step up. I'm still waiting for a game where he breaks out. I'm expecting 25-plus points, 30-plus points. This is unacceptable. You just came off an extension. You need to play better. I need games from you like Mikal Bridges has given us twice and Cameron Johnson gave us once. We need a game like that from DeAndre Ayton. Otherwise, that's it. Be sure to like and subscribe. Suns get the win. They go to 8-3. We're going to take on the Orlando Magic next. Be sure to tune in for that video, and I will see you guys then. Go Suns.